Hello and welcome to Brackets Academy. Today you'll be learning how to make HTML tables responsive using CSS media queries. Now here we have an HTML table, and to actually see the responsive effect kick in, we have to lower the resolution of the browser to less than 800 pixels. And there we go. So you see now we have our responsive design kicked in as soon as the browser hits that breaking point of less than 800 pixels. So this is the final product for today. If you want to learn how to do this, let's get started with the tutorial. So here we have a basic HTML document with a link to our style sheet and our file called style.css, which is this one, which is contained in the same folder as our index.html page in a folder called responsive table. We have a title to our page, responsive table, and if you're going to test this on Google Chrome, I would advise you to put this first line on top of your HTML tags, doctype HTML. Okay, so because I want to keep this tutorial as short as possible, I'm just going to copy and paste the table over and I will explain what's happening there. So here we have the table, basic table tags. And the first thing we're actually setting an ID of our table to a responsive table. Then inside of our table we have 5 rows. Now the first row is going to be our header of our table, so that's why we're giving it an ID of head row. So we have a first name, last name, age, and position. Next we have 4 more table rows inside of our table, and there's a very important custom attribute here that we're assigning to the table data, and that is this table head data here. So later, when we use our media query, we're going to hide the first row, that's our head row, and instead of our head row we're going to display whatever is contained in the table head data in front of the actual table data. So for instance, in front of John we're going to have first name, in front of John's last name we're going to have last name, in front of 25 we're going to have age, and so on for every other table data that's contained in the table rows. So now let's save this in preview in our browser. There we go. Also Mozilla Firefox. There we go. So next we'll start on the styling of our table. So next open up your style.css file, and inside of here we're going to start styling our table. So select your table, add a width 100%, and add a border collapse. Save that and preview in your browser. So next we'll select the odd and the even table rows, and we'll apply a different background color. So table row, nth of type. First one's going to be our odd ones. Then copy this, paste it over, and change this to even, and add a background. So for the odd ones we're going to have a background color of CCFFEB, and for the even one we're going to have a background color of 99FFD6. Save that, preview in a browser. So next we'll select our first table row over here, which is going to be our header row, and we're going to apply a different style to our head row, so it will behave more like a head of our table. So go ahead and select your head row, and we're going to give it a different background color. So the color will be 004C2E. We're gonna give it a different color to the text. It's gonna be white, and then we're gonna give a font weight of bold. Save that, preview that in your browser. There we go. And next we're gonna select our table data and apply some style to our table data. So responsive table data. We're gonna have a padding here. It's gonna be 5 pixels. then a border will be 1 pixel solid black, and text align left. Save, preview. Now we have a border to a table. So next is actually the interesting part. Here's where so next is actually the interesting part. Here we'll implement the media query. So to do that, type the add symbol, then media, screen, and maximum width. We're gonna go with 800 pixels. You can obviously change this later. So what we're doing here is actually we're telling the browser, if the screen is less than 800 pixels, apply the style which is going to be contained inside of these two brackets over here. So first thing you want to do, you want to select your table, then select your table body, then your table data. Let's first select the table row, then the table data. And inside of here we're going to have a property, display block. Okay, so next we're going to select our head row, and we're going to hide that head row when the media screen will kick in, meaning when the screen goes less than 800 pixels we're going to hide the head row. So select your head row, and we're gonna give the head row position of absolute. We're gonna give it a left property of minus 9999 pixels, and we're gonna give it a top property, again minus 9999 pixels. Save that. Next we'll select the table data and style the table data. Again, table data, and we're gonna give the table data, actually we're gonna remove the border border first, none. Then we're gonna give a position, it's gonna be relative. Then we're gonna give it a little padding to the left, which is gonna be a 40%. And we're gonna give a white space normal. Okay, and last text line to our left. Save that. Okay, so next we're gonna select the table data, but this time we're gonna give a before property. So table data before. So here we are actually styling the table head data, which is going to be displayed when the media query will kick in. So we're going to give it a position of absolute. Then we're going to give a top of 5 pixels. Left will also go with 5 pixels. Width is going to be 40% again. We're going to give a padding to the right, 10 pixels. White space, again, no wrap. Text align to the left. And font weight bold. So save that. And the last part we're gonna do is actually we're gonna select again our table data with the before attribute and we're gonna display the content, which is the table head data. So type content attribute, and here we're gonna have, actually there's no braces over there, attribute, and here we're gonna have our table head data. So save that, go into your browser, preview, see nothing's happened because the screen is not less than 800 pixels, but if we lower that, there we go, we now have the responsive design of our table. Okay, so something I did wrong here was actually I selected the table data with the before property for a second time. I mean, it's not wrong, but there's no need for that. So what we can actually do is select this line over here and paste it in the block above it and get rid of this last block, because there's no need for that because we have already selected the table data with the before property above it. So save that and again preview that in your browser just to make sure that everything works, and it does. So yeah, that's it guys for this tutorial. I hope you found this tutorial useful and you'll find a place of how to implement this into your projects. And if you want to see more, subscribe if you like, and see you in the next one guys.